Hi guys, and welcome back to Alistair Davies Golf. Today's video is all about angle of attack, and does it really matter? What does it actually change? And also within this video I'm going to cover more than just the driver angle of attack. I'm going to look at, does it matter when we hit an iron off a mat, a fairway scenario, and a slight small first cut or rough scenario. So does angle of attack affect us on each of those situations? And then for the point of view then of when we're in a certain situation in the golf course, does it really matter then if we hit down on the ball or level or up on the golf ball? That's the premise of this video, and that's what we're going to try and look at. And also I'll explain to you a little bit how maybe we can make your angle of attack shallower with a driver through some swing thoughts also. So I'm going to get my what I call golf stig to hit some shots, because he's very reliable. So Andy Jones, an Alps Tour player, is going to hit the shots for me with the driver and the irons, and I'm going to get the Trackman data and come back to you with all the figures in due course. Keep watching. Okay, the Trackman data. So let's look at driver first of all. So with the driver, what I got Andy to do is hit down on the golf ball for 5 shots and up on the golf ball for 5 shots. And we'll talk a little bit about how you might be able to do that technically in a second. But when we look at the driver data, when he hit down on the golf ball, what we had with a similar speed of swing, 106.9 versus 107.1 mile an hour, the difference we had basically in carry distance was 240 yards carry when hitting down on the golf ball, and 267.9 distance carry hitting up on the golf ball. So a big increase of 26 or 27 yards in distance just by changing angle of attack. And in terms of what the angle of attack we actually had with that was, it was 5.6 degrees down when we tried to hit down on the golf ball, and when we were hitting up on the golf ball it was 2.4 degrees up. So there's a difference of 7 degrees or so in angle of attack change, and it's made a big difference in distance. So it's quite influential, and we've got a very similar kind of speed and smash factor within both those shots. So with purely angle of attack changed the distance the ball went in terms of carry, so it can make a big difference. So in terms of golf swing, if you're trying to shallow your angle of attack with a golf ball, you'll see plenty of drills on my YouTube channel how to do that, simple drills. But essentially it'll come a little bit from, in the backswing, what we call extensor action, getting your right arm pushed against your left arm and keeping that width in your golf swing. That allows you to deliver that golf club in a more upward or ascending blow through the golf ball. So that'd be one of the thoughts. We also have the setup, being able to set to the golf ball with your sternum behind the golf ball and on the ball position towards left heel. So that ascending blow will come from this extensor action and possibly a little bit of this kind of what we call ulnar deviation of the wrists in the downswing to lengthen the club. Obviously a high risk for certain players to think of, but those are two things you could do technically to change your angle of attack. Let's look at the 6-iron now. When we looked at the 6-iron on the mat scenario, when we got Andy to hit his kind of normal shots, which would be hopefully what we call hitting down on the golf ball, Andy produced, and let me just get the data here for you, it was a 187 yard carry and a smash of 1.42. I'll come back to you with the angle of attack number in 1 second. And when we got him to hit up on the ball, it was at 87.6 mile an hour, so only 0.9 slower, and the ball speed reduced by 9 mile an hour in difference. So there was a big loss of ball speed through probably gear effect and contact, because obviously the ball was being hit much lower on the face, and you see a snapshot of the contact position there. But the carry distance went from 187 to 169, and the smash factor went from 142 to 134, so a big reduction in smash factor there, which again is all I was talking about, where the strike location was really in the face. In terms of how much up and down Andy hit, was 4 degrees down on the golf ball, and when we went to the hitting up on the golf ball, it was 0.4 of a degree down on the ball, so still down but pretty zero-ish. So again, it wasn't actually up on the golf ball. The tendency is if you hit up on the golf ball, you'll almost get the club grounding out before the ball, which is not advisable, especially off a tight lie. When we looked at the fairway scenario, and again we looked at there the standard one, if you like, first of all, Andy hit 3.7 degrees down on the golf ball, and that produced a carry of 180 yards and a smash factor of 142. When we looked at him trying to up on the golf ball from the fairway scenario, we had a 0.6 ascending blow, 87 mile an hour club head speed. Smash factor reduced then to 138, so it came down, and the distance came down to 171 yards, so a significant loss in distance hitting up the ball off a tight fairway lie. Again, the strike location moving down, affecting the performance of the golf club and ball speed. So at the rough, where the ball obviously was kind of set up on a nice lie, fluffy lie if you like. Again, with the, let me get the right data here. When we go to the standard one, here it is. The standard one, we managed to hit down on the golf ball 1.7 degrees with a speed of 89 mile an hour. Smash factor of 143, so very similar to what he had off the mat, interesting enough, and the fairway with his normal shots. A carry distance of 184. And when we look at then hitting up on the ball from the rough, 2 degrees up on the golf ball, this was 86 mile an hour club head speed. Smash factor maintained itself nearer 1.40, so it's interesting enough, when we had a better lie, the strike location wasn't compromised as much. We struggled to show you an image of this because the grass affected the spray and didn't allow us to show you the strike position on this. But essentially, because the ball was more airborne and more air underneath it, it allowed Andy to get a strike location similar to what you'd have when hitting down on the golf ball. So there was less of a smash factor change and less of a loss of distance. There was still some loss of distance of 175 yards rather than the 180 odd yards. So a slight reduction in club head speed as well when he did that. Probably again because he wasn't transferring his weight as well, wasn't being as efficient that way dynamically. So what's this shown? This is shown basically if you've got a good lie with an iron, you can afford not to hit down on the ball too much. You can get away with probably around about a 0 angle of attack and still maintain good smash factors, good numbers, and good control of the golf ball. With the driver, it shows that hitting up on the ball makes a huge difference. Even with someone with decent club head speed of 107, 108 mile an hour, it makes a difference of quite a lot of number of yards. And it's probably invaluable to learn how to do that if you're a player that wants to hit a longer drive in a hole. In terms of a tight lie, like a mat or a fairway, 6-iron, I think it shows it's essential you hit down on the golf ball to maximize your opportunity of getting the best contact and distance out of the shot. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, a little kind of test of angle of attack showing how important it is from fairway, from a semi-rough, and from a tee shot. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. I've got regular content coming every week, and post any comments you have in the box down below, especially if any future videos you'd like me to cover. And thanks for watching.